Salam and hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. I hope that you're all doing well. Today's topic is on 5 things that we as women over 40 can no longer ignore. And the first thing I'm just going to dive right in is our financial wealth or our financial health. Many of us realize that in certain parts of the world, the average age of retirement is between 60 and 65 years, depending on where you live. And retirement is closer than it really feels. But at the same time that retirement age is creeping upon us, it's also not realistic for many of us because we still have to earn money and remain self-sufficient and bring in that capital to support ourselves and our family members, to be sincere with you. So now is the time, I would say, is to start to assess your savings, look at your 401k, talk about with your financial advisor, investment strategies if you haven't already done it, because a lot of us may be saving a lot, but we're not investing. And there are different ways to invest. Some of you might invest in the stock. Some of you might invest in, I would say, Sharia compliant, investments and whatever have you. I think it's really important now that if you haven't invested in any of those things, 401k, a savings account, stocks, or Sharia compliant investments, please take your time and look into that. It's not too late to take care of your financial health. Another thing is to manage your debt. Some of you have gone to school and have accrued debt, but you're not using that degree for whatever reason. I'm not here to judge, but understand that debt is a part of the problem. Debt for many of us is a hindrance to our financial freedom, to even our emotional and our mental well-being. Debt can be such a kryptonite for so many of us. And so that's why I ask that you look at your debt and realistically assess what you can do to get out of that debt or get that debt as low as possible. And that includes school loan debt, credit card debt, home loan debt, car loan debt. It's all debt at the end of the day. Some are good debt, like your educational loan and the home loan, but either way, I wouldn't say good debt versus bad debt. I would just say any debt, try and assess how you can reduce that. And I don't want to sound vague, so I'll leave some links below in ways in which you can start to look into budgeting and how you can help yourself with all of these things I'm talking about, because it's, I'm really sincere in that these are the things that we find ourselves at a certain age. It kind of creeps up on us. We're kind of like, well, how did I get into so much debt? Or how is my financial situation not as good as it could be? Again, no judgment. Life happens. We all need to try and figure out the best way to take care of ourselves moving forward, right? Now, another thing is to kind of figure out where you are in your career. So like I said, many of you may have gone to school and are not using your degrees, or you have gone to school and you're at a place in your career where you're not that satisfied. You should be earning more. You should be probably in a higher position, or you should be running your own company. And so try and pivot, or at least do yourself a favor and come with your worth. Whether you're applying for a new job or looking for a higher position, know your worth. Be able to clearly assess and investigate why you should be getting paid more, why you should be earning more, why you should be reaching more people in your business, in your career. And so sometimes it takes a moment for you to step back and investigate and evaluate all these things. But I think it's worthwhile. I think it's worthwhile for you to take the time to really look into how you can explore new streams of income, increase your capital, increase your income, so that you can have more money on the table for yourself at the end of the day. So please take a look at your financial wealth. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about that we can no longer ignore is quality relationships. Protecting your peace is really important at this particular age. I think this age is really important for us because there are so many things going on. A lot of us are reassessing and reevaluating our life choices, which is great. Nothing wrong with that, but know that boundaries are going to probably be more and more important moving forward in life. So the way I see it is like this is a midpoint. If many of us are fortunate to live healthy into old age and, et cetera, this would be a middle ground, for example, and between the ages of 40 and 50. You are going to be your half your life, God willing, you've seen it, now you're going to reach the other half of your life. So it's going to be important for you to Preserve your time and energy for what truly matters, and preserve your energy for those things that are going to bring you joy and happiness and are worthwhile. They are worth your investment. They are worth your time as much as possible. Life happens, and not everything is flowers and, rainbows and unicorns or whatever have you, but know that you have to protect yourself and protect your well-being. Know that you become more and more like the people in your area and your surroundings. So you want to prioritize the relationships that nourish you, not drain you, that are not toxic for you. And then, at some point in time, you might think, well, I just need to be alone. I just need to stay by myself and isolate myself in this particular season of life. And I honestly think that is good. I'm not against taking time to be by yourself and try and assess what's going on in your life. But also know that at a certain point, you have to come out of that isolation. As author Bell Hooks said, no one is healed in isolation. And I paraphrase this because it is true. You don't want to be in a point in your life where you've isolated yourself so much that it's hard to get out of that shell. So I do encourage you to, if you need to take the time out to figure out why these relationships aren't working for you and cut some relationships off, put some relationships in timeout, so be it. But know that I want you to eventually, once you feel comfortable and once you start to be able to have discernment of the people you're around, then you can gravitate towards people who are like-minded and are good for you. And know that I think it starts with yourself. If you are more in tune with yourself and you know what you like and dislike, it's going to be easier for you to just be able to rapidly say yes and no. This is not going to work. This is going to work. It comes with time. It comes with age. It comes with practice and thought and thinking and prayer. But I think that it is possible for you to start building quality relationships that are good for you. Now, the third thing I want you to stop ignoring is also your environment and what you allow around you. Not so much as in people, but for example, your physical space. Are you clutter-free? Are you clean? Is there noise? Is there chaos? Is there just so much distractions that you're not able to focus on what you really need in life? That's really important. So your physical space is important to you. At this age, we have to be able to, I would say, as much as possible, have home a place of a sanctuary of peace and nourishment and just good vibes all around. That's really important. I know some of you women watching this who will not compromise on your home. You will not compromise on your house and the things that come into your house and the things that leave your house and who's coming in, what's coming in, all of those things. You are very strict and no nonsense when it comes to that. And I applaud you. For some of us, it takes a while to get there. And I want you watching, if you're not there yet, to try your best. This home of yours, your apartment, your house, your condo, your townhome, your bedroom, if you're sharing a space, is all about you. So you have to take care of that. Another thing about environment is your exposure to certain toxicities. Food, for example, is really important. Air quality is really important, as well as the things that you have around you. The lotions you put on your body, the perfumes you put on your body, the things you use to cook your food with. Are they BPA free? Are they toxic materials? All of these things are really important. So again, think about what's in your environment and how you are going to better serve yourself. Another thing in environment that I want to talk about is our exposure to digital products, television, phones, tablets, laptops, computers. Take inventory of your screen time. I've spoken about this before on my channel, and I'll leave a link to these videos that I'm referencing. Take an inventory of how much time you spend on your screen, especially before you go to bed, because these can be disruptive to your sleep habits, for example. So I want you to, be cognizant of how much time you spend on your screen. Some of you have lockout apps, which lock you out of your social media apps for hours upon a time, which I think is great for you if you are having, an issue being disciplined in that nature. Also, again, social media and news consumptions. These things aren't always, they don't provide you with the information you really need during your day. Sometimes it's just pointless to even go on it for some of you. So I talk to you sincerely to ask you to reconsider what you are absorbing through social media and through the news. It's some of these things can really spiral. They just can make you spiral into deep depression and anxiety, and sometimes it's just not even worth it. It's just not even worth it. So think about your environment, because these are things you can no longer ignore at your age. All right, the fourth thing I want to talk about, of course, is your health. So I want you to, if you are over the age of 40, I want you to consider how much muscle and bone loss can affect your body if you are not resistance training and if you are not taking in the proper amount of protein for your weight or for your goal weight. Also, I want you to consider the hormonal shifts that you are currently going through. Some of you may not be feeling it yet. Some of you may not even know you're in perimenopause, but more than likely you are, and you might be now experiencing, or in the near future, experience some fluctuations in your metabolism, in how you feel, in how you think, and just your overall health. So I want you to consider that. Consider that if you're going to be going through perimenopause, what you can do in advance of that to take care of yourself. And I want you to take a look at this video here so that you can or take a look at this playlist. I have a large playlist on perimenopause and menopause, different topics, not all the same, but detailed information about what you can do to help yourself in advance, or what you can do to help yourself if you are in that transition currently. And even postmenopausal, I have videos on that as well. Another thing in your health care journey that I want you to consider is preventative care. Preventative care is so important, and oftentimes we miss it because of access issues to health care, or maybe we don't make health a priority for ourselves, so we don't schedule our annual visits. So get your regular screenings, yearly mammograms, yearly annual visits. If you are over 45, you are now qualified for a colonoscopy if you live in the United States. If you have a familial history or some type of history that would warrant you to get it earlier, then you will have gotten it earlier. If if you have a very good physician and if you're up to date with your own health. But think about that, and also think about blood work. I talk about blood work on my channel and the main things you should be getting in terms of lab work year after year. And so I want you to consider how to just book your appointment every year. Know that this date or this month is the month for me to get my mammogram every year. This month is the month for me to get my annual physical every year. And this is what it's going to be every year from here on out. Even your OBGYN, even your reproductive, gynecological visit should be set up for you so that you don't have to think twice about it, right? Please look into setting up these appointments if you haven't, and take care of yourself. Now, the fifth and last thing I want to talk about, and something that women over 40, and some of you might say this is for all women, and I agree it's for all women, it's for all women, but we can no longer ignore, is our spiritual connection to God, and that is honestly, it's really like, that's the foundation for many of you. God first, religion first, the deen first, midlife has got some of you questioning the purpose of life. Why am I here? What am I doing? What is my purpose? What is my primary purpose? My secondary purpose? What am I supposed to be doing in this dunya for the rest of my life if you haven't already figured it out? And I get it. 100% I get it. Things happen in life where you're now questioning everything. So try and find that spiritual connection to God. So for some of you, it's going to be your daily prayer habits. For some, it's going to be making salat. For others, it's going to be reading your holy book. For me, it's the Quran. For some of you watching, it's the Quran, or it might be another holy book that you're going to be reading on a daily basis to pull information that can help you gain strength from that, or it's going to be the stories of the people before you. So for me, that's going to be the stories of the prophets before me, also the stories of the people before me, their struggles and their triumphs. Also, think about being reliant and trusting in God and God alone. There are no middlemen between you and God. There are no middle people. That's something that it took me a while to really grasp. Sure, there are spiritual leaders and religious figureheads and leaders and all that, but no, there is nobody between you and God. And if anybody ever tells you that, run away from them, far away. You know what I'm saying? Because that type of attitude prevents you from digging deep and finding your connection, speaking in your voice and what you need to say and what you need to pull from yourself. Now, God knows all of this, right? He's closest to us. He's closer to us in our jugular vein. However, you need to find a way to connect with God, become close with God, tether yourself to God, remember God, and find a way to speak to God on your own terms, through your own voice, through your own being. Nobody can speak what you're feeling. Nobody can speak what you're thinking, you're hearing, you're experiencing, your emotions and everything that's going on with you. So, anchor yourself to God and truly find what it is that will bring you close as much as possible. Now, these things, of course, I'm targeting it and saying that it's for women over 40, but it can be for any women of any age, right? But I want us to all consider, especially at this time in life where a lot of things are going on. Some of us have parents who are getting older and they're responsible for their parents, or they have kids who they're still responsible for. Some are going to college, some are still in high school, some are still in elementary school. Some of you are in your 40s who are still having babies, and there's no judgment for any of that from me. Not from me, none at all. But I do want you to just consider yourself and take care of yourself. And again, some of you are still trying to figure out your career. Some of you have risen up the corporate ladder. Some of you are finding yourselves in a little bit of limbo in your career. So I want you to take pause and take it easy on yourself too as you're trying to figure it out. Do not be hard on yourself, but do your due diligence to figure out what's going to work for you and give you peace of mind at the end of the day. So I hope that this video has been very helpful for you. Please check out the playlist that I spoke about on perimenopause and menopause below, as well as the other links to the videos that I've mentioned. I do thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.